What is up, guys? I know it's been a bit longer than usual, but I am back. Welcome to Flexo's 3 Top 3's, where I'll pick a category and make 3 top 3 lists. For this one, I want to go over some achievement diaries. If you don't know, achievement diaries are usually small tasks you need to complete in individual areas, with most of them requiring skills, quests, and other challenges. Most of the easy diaries can be done pretty quickly and don't give that great of a reward, but the hard and the elite diaries will be much more rewarding. So that's mostly what I'll be covering, with the 3 most useful, the 3 easiest grinds, and the 3 longest grinds. Let's start off with the 3 most useful. At third, we have the Varrock diaries. While there isn't many perks given from these, it does give you a few pretty helpful ones. For one, the mediums will allow you to toggle the Varrock teleport to the Grand Exchange, which is extremely useful and a very low requirement to obtain, considering it is in the medium diary, so you'll be able to bust this one out pretty quickly. The most useful part of this diary, in my opinion, would be the daily discounted battle stats you get from Zaf. As of right now, you can make a little more than 100k a day just by scooping them up every time you hop on, with the elites completed, of course. This is already almost half the price of a bond every 2 weeks. Throw in some daily Nightmare Zone herb boxes and that's already a free membership right there. Another good reward from this is the Varrock Armor 4. When worn, it will give you a 10% chance of mining 2 of any ore, with experience included, which is pretty uncommon for these types of perks. It can also be used to replace the Prospector jacket, and it is useful for Volcano if anyone's still on that grind. And second, we have Karen. With Karen having great content, of course the diaries have to be great as well. The lower tier rewards are okay, but the elites definitely place this in the top 3. For starters, Slayer points given by Konar will increase by a bit more than 10%. You also get burn protection in the Mount Karum Slayer dungeon, which is nice for a couple different reasons. For one, your DPS will go up since it will free up your boot slot from those shit ass granite boots. Also, there is a horror story with the alchemical hydra that some players could tell you. If you die, you will not lose your stuff, instead you'll have to pay to get it back from Orvor. But if you die before you retrieve them, they're lost for good. These elite diaries will keep you from ever having to remember those damn boots every time and risk losing hundreds of mils depending on your gear setup. It's also really helpful for blood rune crafting by increasing the amount of bloods you make by 10%, which is about 20 mil more on the way to 99. It also gives a 5% increase on dense essence blocks, which speeds up the method a bit more. So there's all this, and we haven't even gotten to the Rada's Blessing yet. First, it allows you to teleport to Karen Woodland in a limited amount of times, which isn't the best telly, but it is free. It will also allow you to telly in a limited amount of times to Mount Karum right next to Konar, which is great for Slayer, especially when you're grinding the Alchemical Hydra. Also, as an added little bonus, it will add an 8% chance of catching 2 fish at once anywhere, which is kinda random but useful for fishing ults for sure. And if all that wasn't enough, it's actually just a best in slot item, unless you're using arrows of course. And at first, for the most useful, I decided to put the Lumbridge and Draenor diaries. So before you have the elites done, the rewards are a little shitty, but as soon as you get that quest cape, it's lit. First off, you'll get a 20% discount in the Lumbridge Castle basement chest, which is good if you PK with Barrows, Dragon Gloves, or you just lose them often. Now these ones coming up are some of the best perks I think you can get from any diary in this game. You'll get a 6 block for Slayer, which on your way to 99 can make a huge difference in points, experience, and GP per hour. The elites will also allow you to use fairy rings without a Drummond or Lunar Staff, which is amazing. This is so useful for almost every single thing in the game. At tiers of Gothics, you'll get a 10% increase to experience, which if somehow you're actually getting a 99 from this, that'll be an extra 1.3 mil XP. You'll receive the Explorer's Ring 4, which has some very nice uses as well. For one, you'll get unlimited teleports to the patch near Faldor Farm, which is great for farm runs since there isn't many teleports super close to there. You can replenish your run energy by 100% 3 times a day, which is cool for any reason you like to keep running. Last but definitely not least, you'll get 30 free Hyox a day with it. This is extremely helpful for bursting tasks like Nex and Dust Devils since you won't be on a standard spellbook and they drop so many alchables. Nothing is worse than having to go back to bank and your spot being taken. Let's switch over to the top 3 easiest grinds. At third, we have Ardoin. For the Elite Diary, the highest level you need is 86 cooking and smithing, but both these skills only take a short period of time to achieve. The longest and most tedious skill would definitely be agility with this diary, but at level 85 just boosting it to 90, it shouldn't be any more than about 80 hours, which isn't too long when comparing it to other diaries' highest skill requirements. The rest of the skills needed are pretty mid-level and not too strenuous to get, which is one of the main reasons I ranked this third easiest. It should take close to about 160 to 180 hours to finish all the skill recs, with reasonable methods. Artie does have a bit more quests than the average diary with about 33 of them, but only a few are a slight challenge such as Monkey Madness, Morning's End Part 1, Underground Pass, Regicide, with the rest being pretty quick to finish. The Artie diary also has no other real challenge like raids or grinding a minigame for 15 plus hours. And second, I chose the Fremnik Diaries. From my research, it seems most of the community seems to say this is the easiest. I don't fully agree. However, I do agree it's about the second easiest. The highest skills you'll need is 77 runecrafting and 78 Slayer. You don't even need one level 80 to finish an elite, so I definitely understand why anyone would say this is the easiest. Slayer though will still take a good amount of time even to get to level 78 and boosting to 83, but it shouldn't be any more than about 80 hours with doing the right tasks. Runecrafting and agility will most likely be the next longest grinds to achieve, with it being closer to 35 to 40 hours each, but the entirety of the skill requirements, if doing viable methods, shouldn't be any longer than about 180 to 200 hours, which is a bit more time than it takes in the Artie, but most can grind Slayer much longer than other skills without growing tired or bored. Since that is the case for a lot of people, I think it does make it technically easier than the Artie diary. The Fermi diary has an average number of quests sitting at 27, with most being pretty quick to finish. It also has a couple extra challenges to complete as well. You'll need to kill each Dagannoth King and each of the God Wars generals in the God Wars dungeon. Neither is too hard with decent stats, and after 77 Slayer you should be close enough to the suggested combat level. First may be a little controversial, because according to Reddit and many other posts, Karamja is the hardest diary. I personally think it is the easiest. Now hear me out. I hate runecrafting, and I know most do, but level 86 runecrafting is pretty much the only real grind here. 82 Herbalore is the next highest level, with that only taking about 12 to 13 hours with a reasonable method. Nothing in this diary is even considered an actual grind. You have 72 farming, which you'll get just doing daily farm runs that take 10 minutes at a time, 60 fishing, which you can get in a couple of movies, while also getting level 48 agility from barbarian fishing and level 50 Slayer. Level 50 Slayer is one of the highest level requirements of the supposed hardest elite diary. Alright, just skills themselves should only take you about 120 to 140 hours of playtime, which is only a fraction of a couple of the other diaries. To add to my argument, the entire diary itself has a whopping total of 16 quests, with Legends and Underground Pass probably being the hardest. The easy and elite diaries don't even have quest requirements. The only actual challenge is the Fire Cape, which, to be fair, some people do have a hard time with. I did have a friend that took him like 15 tries, so I guess if you can't beat Jad, you can say Karamja's the hardest, but if Jad isn't one of your issues, then it's gotta be one of the easiest. We're gonna finish off this video with the longest achievement diary grinds. Third, we have Mortania. The elite Mortania diaries are full of some grinds. While not even being close in number 1 spot, it's still gonna take some time. The highest skill requirement is going to be 91 fishing, with boosting it to 96. That itself, along with Slayer, is going to take almost 200 hours, with all the skills in total being somewhere around 210 to 240 hours. I would say the quests are the real reason this is third, mostly due to having the most quests of all the diaries. The Mauritania diary has almost 40 quests to complete, with some of the pretty long ones like One Small Favor, Desert Treasure, and Lunar Diplomacy. A lot of them are around the 20-30 minute mark, but with 39 in total, it's definitely going to be lengthy. And to be honest, the Mauritania Medium Diary may have the biggest challenge of them all, finding a damn trouble brewing partner. At second, once again, we have Karen and Caboose. There are a few reasons why I placed this in second. For one, you need 95 Slayer or 90 with the boost, and that alone is going to take over 200 hours. The next longest skill grind with level 85 woodcutting boosted to 90, which is going to take somewhere around 60 hours. Runecrafting will also take a little bit of time, with around 40 hours, but the rest of the skills aren't too bad to achieve. You'll most likely achieve 90 magic passively through Slayer, and if not, there's always an Abute Heart. All the skills will probably take you somewhere from 310 to 340 hours to complete. The current diary has an average amount of quests with around 25 with a couple longer ones. Most of the quests you can complete pretty quickly, but with over 300 hours of grinding skills, it still keeps us in the top 3. There are a few other challenges too that make it a bit harder. For one, you'll need to complete a Chambers of Varrock raid, which can be quite challenging for a lot of players, with there being a huge learning curve when starting. You'll also need 100% favor in all the houses, except Lava Kenge, with that only needing 30%, which most people are not fans of the favor. For the longest diary grind, I decided to put the Western Provinces. To start this one off, 93 Slayer is the highest base level requirement of any diary since it cannot be boosted. Slayer is also the longest skill to train, with a lot of the tasks giving anywhere from 20 to 40k experience an hour, and usually it's for pretty short periods of time. Well, that is, unless of course you have a dumb amount of Slayer points and you skip everything, but we're not all that lucky. Besides agility taking about 50 hours, there isn't many other skills that require much time. You're looking at anywhere from 340 to 400 hours of grinding skills alone to reach your Rex, with 3/4 of that time being spent on Slayer. The quest Rex aren't too bad. You have ones like Regicide, Underground Pass, Garden of Tranquility, which they can take some time. There's only about 24 quests, and most take about 20 to 30 minutes or so. The Western Diaries also have a few challenges to complete that are definitely going to be time consuming. You'll need to grind out Pest Control and obtain a full set of Void, which you'll need anyway, so you might as well get to it. You'll also need 1,000 Chompy Bird kills. Sorry, little buddy. And you'll need to kill Zora, which some people just never do. So there it is, guys. I hope this helped anyone or made you guys want to start your diary grind. I'm going to try to keep up with posting as often as I can and continue to do small giveaways for you guys that stick around. See y'all next time.